Okay, guys, welcome. We're going to talk today about zombie. Zombie health equity. A zombie's view of health equity. And I first need you to understand that zombies don't know they're zombies. Persons who have experienced the somatic switch into first death are unaware that they are living in first death. It's easy to point at the other people. Let's just give a quick example. We have a skinny person and a fat person. The fat person's right hemisphere, there's a voice inside of your head that's stronger than you. Sounds very convincing because it's inside of your head. But this is a very old organism it's much smarter than you. It can literally use your hands to do anything it wants to. However, the easiest way for it to get this job done is to just slowly whisper little tidbits in your ear. It's in control. It can just take control of your body. Anytime you black out and go try to have some sex that might give you some AIDS, anytime your hands feel like they're taking over, suddenly you're doing something in your head that seems very important right now, and your hands drive the car 2 exits past your city and try to get the fuck out of the city. That's not you. That's that right hemisphere. It could be the biggest tool in the world. It's not the boogeyman. If we reverse the somatic switch, this thing is the most helpful thing on the face of the planet. Every morning, my right hemisphere wakes me up at 4:30 a.m. and says, hey man, it's time to go do 3 hours of cardio. This is going to be great. And I start getting dopamine, serotonin, and adrenaline before I even start exercising, because that's what this thing was built for. However, if we have an apparent exceeding of the carrying capacity, suddenly this voice is going to reverse your idea of zombie health equity. Suddenly, instead of saying, hey man, exercise is the tits, it's amazing, it's going to say, hey, carbohydrates are amazing, that's what's great, I don't know what's wrong with that other person that's into exercising. Nice people. Because the advantageous evolutionary step currently, as your right hemisphere has deciphered the data here, is for you to die to reduce the species. Here's the problem, nice people. Humans don't have a predator. I mean, inside of our own minds, we don't have a predator. If we have too many giraffes, we're going to see a rise in the predator of that giraffe, so we don't exceed a carrying capacity. Hippos, squirrels, birds, whatever it is, every single thing has something that caps the carrying the carrying capacity, except humans. Now, we've done some extremely interesting work in this area, and we've simply misnamed it. We did mouse paradise. What we did was we made a habitation capable of holding on to about 3,000 mice. We put 8 mice in there, 0 disease, 0 hot, 0 cold, 0 predators, 0 soil, unlimited antibiotic water, unlimited antibiotic food. So we have absolutely no relationship to the soil. We have no way for microorganisms that are finite and leaving us to return to those mice in there. And we have absolutely nothing that is curbing their numbers, keeping them from exceeding the carrying capacity. And quite frankly, they didn't come close to the carrying capacity of the habitation. It was a big one. They had housing for approximately 3,000 mice. They got to about 2,000 mice before they hit the somatic switch. And all of a sudden, this scientist called this first death, because everybody had done this already 24 times. This is the 25th universe. The 25th time he'd done this, and every single time, about a year in, it was day 352, everybody snaps at the exact same time, and now we see all kinds of things. We see before we had uniform mice. Now all of a sudden we're seeing fat mice, we're seeing skinny mice. One mouse is saying, oh man, I can't get enough food, I'm still hungry. Another mouse is saying, hey, I'm not interested in food at all. And each of the mice are dying from this. Either they eat themselves to death or they starve themselves to death. We're seeing big muscular mice, and we're seeing little tiny mice. The big muscular mice are saying, hey, I got to kill these other mice. I got to kill mates. I got to kill friends. I got to kill baby rodents. I've got to kill the smaller rodents. And the smaller mice are just walking up and allowing themselves to be raped, murdered, cannibalized, everything. I want you to understand that all of us share the exact same DNA. We started out from one organism, microorganism. We evolved for billions of years, and now we have these tiny variations. The only reason that I haven't grown a mouse arm instead of a human arm is because I've got epigenetic markers that tell my body to grow a mouse arm instead of a human arm. If we reverse those, we can grow a human ear out of the back of a mouse. No problem. Easily. Decades ago. It's not the DNA we're changing, it's the epigenetic markers is all we're changing, because the DNA is the same thing. We all came from the same thing. But religion introduced this idea that we were gods from another planet or from aliens or something of this nature. And that's just shit. It's ruining our perception. We should be able to look at any animal and gather information about ourselves. If we were in the same situation the mice were in, we would see, first death, we'd see the somatic switch click, and we would see all of the humans in this habitation react the exact same way we would when we act this out with wolves or with mice. Whatever species, we've done this on a bunch of species. It's unfortunate because the church is causing this confusion. They're saying we've got this species of something over here, then we've got this other, we're all the same thing. We're all the same thing. As far as humans go, if you're looking at a fat human or a skinny human or a murderous human, if you're looking at Hitler going, you're the guy. I'm definitely not saying he's not the guy. Horrible. But, we all have the exact same 300, we all have, for 300,000 years, we all have the exact same 21,000 genetic switches. The exact same genome for 300,000 years. Anything that other person is capable of, you're capable of in the same mathematical situation. Not abuse and murder, it's simply a separation from the soil and species-specific energies. That's it. If your body senses, hey, we've exceeded the carrying capacity, we need to reduce the number of species, switch, click, all of a sudden your body's going to tell you hey, get in the ground. If we all got in the ground the same way, I suppose it'd be real easy to say, hey, here's how we switch it. And so we have a bunch of people all getting in the earth with their own idea. We see two fat people sitting in a vehicle, and they're at a food donation place. Whatever the fuck you call that place, where they give you free food, and the workers are loading up 40 pounds of food while these people are eating pastries. They're already 300 pounds a piece, a human overweight. They're eating pastries in the line where they're waiting for free food from the food bank. There it is. From the local food bank. And the skinny person is going, hey, it's obvious to me that you're going to die of that. And the skinny person is saying, if I eat food, it turns into something poisonous just in my body. And so the thin person is dying of the opposite kind of thing, but it's the exact same thing. We've played this out hundreds of thousands of times already, and the goal is beautiful. It's not to salt the earth. It's to keep us from, overshooting the carrying capacity. If buffalo, if there's too many buffalo, the buffalo's right hemisphere is going to tell the buffalo, fuck a duck, there's some great grass over there. And a bunch of the buffalo are just going to run off a cliff. They're going to be given dopamine. They're going to be given serotonin. They're going to be given adrenaline. Their glands, their salivary glands are going to be like a water faucet because the great grass is over there. We're about to get the great grass. Whoop! It's real easy to look at the other guy and say, hey man, you're doing it wrong. This is habit. This is the bad carbohydrates. I'm eating the good carbohydrates. You're eating the bad carbohydrates. It's real easy to point over the fence. This thing isn't blocking you from seeing somebody else's bad habits. It's only blocking your little secret. This thing is super easy to diagnose, nice people. Is your little voice saying, hey, zombie health equity for you. For me, I hear a voice that tells me to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, about 4:15 this morning, I think it was. Alarm's going to go off in another 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to jump up and brush my teeth, and I'm going to run out the door and do 3 hours of cardio. I'm hoping that's not my only cardio, though. I'm hoping not to only do 3 hours of cardio. First, I'm going to do my exercise, which is not going to be a social thing. I'm going to huff it 4,000 feet up the side of a little mountain, well, a 4,000 foot mountain, back down, back up again, back down, get back home 3 hours later, and then I'll take another rigorous ride to go get the groceries in town. That might take as much time. So I might get 6 hours of cardio, but I'm really looking forward to, I have to have the first 3 hours. I really get excited when I get to put a second pair of biking underwears with the little pads on the buttons on and go for that second ride. Don't ask me why that's the moment I get excited, but it's just real when I'm putting on biking underwear instead of regular underwear. That's when it's real. I start getting excited when I'm putting on the bicycle clothes instead of drive the car clothes or whatever. Is that what yours is telling you? Even if you're doing cardio. If you're doing cardio and right now you're saying, yeah, I'm with you, I'm the cardio guy. Are you? Or do you just have the blender cup? Do you just have the the gym bag, the latest gym bag. Do you identify it with that, or is that your life? I go 365 a year. This isn't a contest. I want you to really focus and see if you can hear the right hemisphere's voice. There's no good people, there's no bad people. There's no morality in sexuality, there's no morality in eating habits. This is a mathematical equation. If a female suddenly looks like a male, we've got male lips, male butt, she hasn't done anything wrong, there's nothing wrong with her genes. Her genes are expressing, hey, I'm shunning mating opportunity. We don't have enough energy to make more people here. Now, if we put her in another location that has species-specific energy, or exact same location, but we tear up the cement and we put in a bunch of species-specific energy, i.e. trees and plants with human food in them, now all of a sudden we're going to see lips and butts explode out of the same female. This isn't morality, it's math. Now, all of a sudden, this female is going to have first the right to life. That's the first decision, prime decision being made. Click, the somatic switch, click. And then all of a sudden, the voice inside of this female is going to change to, hey, we should go get some exercise. Instead of, hey, we should eat some carbohydrates, hey, let's drink some coffee, let's drink some neurotoxin. Let's put some high fructose corn syrup in there. Let's go ahead and put some shelf milk that has absolutely no nutrition whatsoever, just sugar. More high fructose corn syrup in it. More glucose in it. Let's do that to the body and exercise. That's going to give you that energy. Looking for energy. They're both energy. Let me just do the coffee today. For sure, tomorrow I'm going to exercise. Now, when you put that same human body in the vicinity of specific energy, all day, understand your body is measuring 24 hours a day. If you've got 3 locations, one is the bar, or one is work, one is home, and one is the third location, whatever it is, if it's the bar or if it's the library or whatever it is, your body is measuring at all of those locations. So if you're at the food bank and it's just a concrete building with a bunch of preserved foods inside of it, your body's not measuring that. It's measuring meat on the hoof. Meat that was killed yesterday, that throughout history has not lasted till tomorrow. So that's food for yesterday. Your body is measuring the biodensity mechanics is measuring of your body is measuring meat that's alive and considering that to be the meat for tomorrow. It's measuring the fruit, the food, fruit and vegetables that are being grown inside of the fence where you live and work and play. If your church has a bunch of plants and, if you've got 500 people, but you have 5,000 fruit trees and edible animals there, then that church is going to be beneficial for the biodensity mechanics of your body. Somatic switch, click, life. All of a sudden you're going to hear this voice that says, man, we should exercise now. Now that's if you have just enough. If you have more energy than is necessary for the number of the species present currently, then all of a sudden that female's body is going to express female sexuality to attract the opposite sex. In America, we're normalizing females that want to have big lips. They're aware of what a female looks like. They're drawing on big lips, but they haven't any. I'm not saying, and this is what a female, a white male standing up on the soapbox saying, here's what females should look like. These females are advertising ass and lips. They're setting the camera on the ground they're wearing hot pants that intimate a line underneath the ass. A beautiful black girl from Nigeria, a beautiful black girl from Haiti doesn't need to draw a line underneath her ass. There is a line underneath her ass. Her ass and her back are two different parts, two different body parts. And when she walks, that ass is going to slap the back of her legs, and it's going to blow the mind of every male she passes. Literally, their DNA is going to break and be rewritten. He was one thing before she walked by, and now he's another thing, genetically. Amazing. The power of human femininity is amazing, breathtaking. We're normalizing these females that are advertising. I'm going to wear Spanx, I'm going to push it up, I'm going to wear pants, then a G-string, and then a short skirt to intimate that you're seeing something you're not supposed to see, when in fact there's nothing there whatsoever. Nothing. We're drawing shit on, we're doing a sex change for 2 hours a day. Before we leave the house, we're doing a 2-hour sex change. I'm going to push all these parts into this other location. I'm going to paint female parts onto my body and face. I'm going to get surgeries to try to intimate female parts where there are none. But we're not going to get around this person not feeling comfortable in a relationship, or this person's ideals of what zombie health equity. In their mind, human health equity. None of us are saying, man, I'm a zombie and I love doing zombie shit, dude. We're all saying, hey man, this is my idea of what human health equity is. But when we look around, how many other species suddenly have 1,000-pound lions? A human is 200 pounds. So we have the weight of 5 humans on one person. They're completely incapacitated simply from them putting food in their mouths. And we're saying, oh man, we got to change up these habits, these eating habits. Do we have any zebras that are the weight of 2 zebras? Hippos are fat as fuck, but they've been fat as fuck for 1 billion years. Do we see any hippos that are 2 hippos that can't even move? We don't. That would be evolutionary suicide, which is what is necessary when we tell the human body there are no species energies where we live. I'm not telling you you're a dick. I'm telling you we have to put the energies back, and we have to have a relationship to the soil. Every day, 10 billion microorganisms leave you. But those 10 billion microorganisms are necessary. They're making the liquid in your cranium that your brain sits in. That's why you're confused right now. Because that liquid's not being changed, because all those microorganisms went to the water treatment plant, and what came back to you? Microorganisms in numbers, in higher numbers than they left? No, antibiotics. They were killed with antibiotics here. The water that came back is antibiotic. You're bathing in that shit. You're making coffee with that shit. They're telling you, hey, that chlorine's going to boil off. Sure it will. The chloramine won't. The bromine won't. The other 20 chemicals they're using won't. They're all antibiotic. Only the chlorine is going to take off. However, you're showering with that shit anyway. You've got 1,000 species that are supposed to be living on your skin, caring for your skin. You're bathing in fucking antibiotics, and now the developed countries are the only ones that have this crazy acne, shingles, all of these skin problems, where the developing nations are walking around looking like little supermodels. Not from hunger. That's what we're being told. Those guys are starving to death. That's why they've got 6-packs. No dumb shit. You don't get a 6-pack from starving yourself to death. That's beautiful human health equity. That body is saying, hey, there's energy where I'm at, and attracting the opposite sex. That guy doesn't have an ab machine. He's doing wicked crunches for 2 hours a day. That's genetics, people. You're getting Wu-Tang. You're normalizing. These people that are making billions of dollars, the people that are selling the remedies to your children for the acne that this division has caused, don't want you to stop buying these products. It's trillions of dollars a year. You're paying for boners. You don't need to pay for boners. The microorganisms that make nitric oxide, nature's Viagra, are supposed to be going into the soil. The trees put the sugar in the soil. When the microorganisms that make nitric oxide meet the sugar, boom, we see a genesis of that microorganism in the soil. They do the same beneficial job in the soil, so the soil health explodes. They're taken up by the tree. They do the same beneficial job inside of the tree, so the health of the tree explodes, and then you eat from the tree. Not from any tree, the tree that you have a relationship, a symbiotic relationship with. This symbiotic relationship is necessary. You're in it or you die. That's it. So all those people that where we're looking at them going, God damn, that guy is a dumb shit. I'm not telling you you're dopes, nice people. I love you all. I'm here to help you. But I need you to observe the voice inside of your own head. It's the hardest thing to do. Because this voice can tell you, hey, this is difficult. Let's think about titties. Tits are just great, right? It's easy to distract me. It's pretty easy to distract a human male. You can get us to think about just about any goddamn thing, and that's what happens when this thing wants you to pay attention to something else, nice people. I see every one of you sabotaging your own lives and then saying, I can't do it. I stopped by a client's last night, fat as fuck, and he's starving himself to death. I'm going, dude, if you're going to starve yourself to death, let's get it over with. I mean, not the death part, but get skinny already so you can do it. What's the problem? He's fasting, but he's not losing any weight. Unfortunately, he's fasting for 40 hours. He's 65 years old. He's fasting for 40 hours, and then he's starving, and so he's eating twice the calories. But he's saying, I can see a difference, man. When I go 40 hours without eating, I can see through my skin. And I'm going, I bet you can, but that's not. That ain't because you're skinny, motherfucker. You're fat as all hell. You're fatter than you've ever been, is what I didn't say and needed to say to him. Hey dude, you're fat. You're fatter than you were before. You're not losing weight. This method of losing weight, that the right hemisphere of your brain is telling you, man, you're killing it. We're going to eat for 40 hours, and then we're not going to eat for 40 hours, and we're going to finally lose this weight. And every month he's gaining more weight, and in the meantime, he's just nut punching his metabolic system. If you're a hard 65 and you're skipping meals for 40 hours straight, you're just going to see a health consequence. Your heart only needs to stop beating for 2 minutes, and that's it. It's over with. I'm not saying that's what we need to avoid. We've got 8 billion on the planet. We got energy for 3. Go for it. But do it or don't. Shit or get off the pot. Don't half step here, y'all. If you're going to kill yourself, get her done. Don't just keep trashing the planet and saying, hey, I'm halfway there until you're 85. If you're gonna do her, get her done. If not, let's go ahead and work on the switch. you're not going to be able to affect individual decisions. Watching humans die every single day that are positive, they're on to the only truth. And looking at those fat people going, I can see what their problem is. Yup. And that fat person is looking at the skinny person who thinks that food has poison in it, and they're going, hey, stupid, just eat food. Look what we're doing. We're the healthy ones. It's real easy to get caught up in this. It's the frog in the pot, right, guys? If the scientists put a frog in a boiling pot of water, they probably wouldn't even catch a burn. They got big old webbed feet before they even really got in there. They'd be out of the pot. But if we put them all in there, frogs like water, man. And if we just turn it up 1 degree at a time, those frogs will let us burn them. We don't have to put a top on it. They'll let us boil them. What's for dinner? It's frog legs, and these motherfuckers didn't even budge an inch. How come? Seems normal. Water was hot a little while ago. A little bit hotter. Maybe later it's cooler. Maybe later it's a little bit warmer. But this seems sustainable. We're in a fishbowl. Nobody else is saying, hey, this isn't right. All the skinny people are looking at all the fat people going, man, y'all are going to die. All the fat people are looking at the skinny people going, man, y'all hate life and you're going to die as well. Some of the people with the wool furthest over their eyes is the health people. You got a guy that's taking creatine, blowing up these muscles. If you're 100 pounds overweight in muscle, it's the same thing as being 100 pounds overweight in fat. You didn't increase the size of your heart. You didn't increase the size of your lung. Most of the people that work out to excess anyhow, most of the professional athletes, they don't make it to 35. A 36-year-old actress just died. Everybody was like, what? Well, when a 35-year-old weightlifter dies, you might go, wait a minute, somebody died at 35? And they say, oh, he's a weightlifter. Okay. Yeah. Normal, because you're actually increasing the size of your heart. Heart's a muscle. If you take stuff that increases the size of your muscle, your heart's going to try to grow, but the cavity inside of it is not. The lungs aren't. Everything that supports this thing is not going to get bigger. And so you're going to try, but it can't be. When it's pressing against this wall, nice people, and then everything you're doing to get that extra size is just beating up the system. Goodness, if you watch what some of these performers put themselves through, then the fat people are going, hey, stupid, just eat food. It's great. It's real easy pointing to fat ones. 1,000-pound sisters, that's just a regular show for decades now. 1,000-pound human being? Tell me that's not nature giving us a little nudge, know what I mean? It's cleft palate, kids that can't shut their mouths. What you're seeing is, when we see inbred people, what we get is protruding lower jaw, the tongue is expanded. These people aren't capable of eating. The body, the genome, has specifically targeted a very susceptible point. We can't eat, we can't live. And so famously, a lot of the English royalty would have to have their food blended because they couldn't chew anything. Their tongue was so big, their mouths are so deformed that they can't process food. Guys, genetics is a language. All we have to do, be your own scientist. Fuck me. Be your own scientist. What does that mean genetically when the genes say, hey, let's make a person that's fine head to toe, depressed, but aside of that, fine head to toe, let's just make it so that the mouth can't process food. In America, 90%, more than 90%, don't have space in the jaw. We're suddenly seeing these zero jaw people. We left zero jaw people. Think about those teeth, nice people. That's what we left. We came to a place where we spread out a little bit. We had ample species-specific energy, and we saw a certain, since I can't seem to speak the word, we saw this rapid rise in genetic health. Normal mouths again. And now what are we seeing again? We've done it again. We were living this life. Zero SSEs. We came to America, we said, screw you guys, we don't like what you're doing over there. We're going to be here and free and grow our own stuff and have our own land. And all of a sudden we saw this resurgence of genetic health. And now we've once again divided, and what are we seeing? Scientists are scrambling. They're saying, hey, it's screen time. Hey, it's processed foods. It's not. This is a genetic solution to an apparent problem. You don't have the problem. You're living with dirt. You just covered it with fucking xeriscape, with concrete, with asphalt out on the road. Your body's measuring for things that could potentially be right there, that simply aren't. Your HOA won't allow it. It's the cute designs that you're doing. They look great in the magazine, but what your body is counting is microorganisms returning to you, fruit and vegetables in the tree, meat on the hoof, where you fucking live. Work, play, worship. Whatever you do, I'm not being judgmental, guys. You want to swing all over Jesus' nuts. That's fantastic. That's my culture too. But you got to do this. You got to do this and watch out for that goddamn building, because there's no species-specific energy in that building. That's why that preacher keeps messing around with kids, goddammit. There's no morality in sexuality. It's mathematics only. Guys, I got to get back to work. You guys are super important to me, and I'm going to do this again tomorrow.